Hey guys, Bruce here. Hope you are doing well. I am the Budget Aquarist, and today I am doing a introductory video of my fish room, showing you around my fish room, and I am also trying to introduce you to a place called Michael's Fish Room. This is a YouTube station, Michael's Fish Room. Michael's got a ton of subscribers. He and I aren't like competitors or anything. In fact, I just think he's a nice guy. I like to think if we lived in the same area, we'd probably be buddies. I like his sense of humor. He's got really good videos, lots of bloopers and stuff like that. Just a fun place. But anyways, he was doing a real nice thing the other day. He was doing a video introducing somebody that he liked called Aquadiction. Aquadiction, like aqua addiction. And you can find them on YouTube. So check out Michael's Fish Room, and you'll like his channel, I promise you. Nice guy, does a lot of raising of varieties of guppies, plecos, and stuff. So cool place. But anyway, so I told him I wanted to do a introduction and hoping he'll share this video with some folks. So my fish room's pretty basic. As you can see, right now I'm only running 11 tanks. And you can also see that I could run a lot more because I have a lot of room to move upward and also downward. The reason that I don't is because this is solely as a hobby. I do sell some fish, but I also do this primarily just for my own enjoyment. So that being said, this is why you have, artwork and different things all around the fish room, because it's a room that I like to relax in. So there you go. Only one thing in here gets a place of honor, and that's a painting I did a long time ago from a video game. But anyways, my tanks are real simple. I keep a few different varieties of fish that I try to breed. These are blue-eyed fork-tail rainbow fish. They're young, hoping to breed them at some point. Definitely lots of guppies. These particular are just mutt guppies. Not much else going on in this tank. I always have some tanks going that have a lot of plants. As you can see, a lot of plants floating around on the top. And those are just cuttings I took off other plants, and if you let them float around in here in tanks, they'll typically take root. Then you can go ahead and get them planted. I have my electric blue Acaras that I have bred. These are been around a long time. Got some Denison barbs in here growing out that I would like to try to breed at some time. They have a long way to go though. All kinds of varieties of Cory cats in my tanks. These are blue leopard Corys. I have panda Corys, axolotls, false Julii, which we'll take a look at. But as you can see, I like to let my tanks really kind of grow wild. Got some medications, some foods, just sitting around. But everything's pretty much, kept in a neat order in here all the time. These are the axolotl Corys. They're in there with L264 plecos, which you can barely see. But there's several of those in there growing out. And I have lots of panda Corys in with L333 plecos. Again, very difficult to get a sight of these guys because they're always hiding. You can see them. They look like zebras back in there, just gorgeous. And lots of panda Corys. I just fed them, so there's a lot of stuff floating around right now. This is going to be my latest breeding project. And this is, of course, bumblebee puffers. And no, they're pea puffers is actually what they're called. I just call them bumblebees because they remind me of bumblebees swimming around. Little pea puffers doing real well. Got 5 of them in here. Super hard to photograph video because of how tiny they are. They're doing great. Got some black veil angels. And I have another black veil over in this tank that I took out because these two always picked on it, and I don't know why that is. If it's that these two are going to become a pair, or they if it was just typical angelfish aggression. But one way or another, I got rid of them to see if these two do indeed become a pair. These are in with my L134 plecos. There's about a half dozen of them in there. And I recently learned something interesting about these guys from a longtime professional breeder of them, and that is that the females of these species often go into caves just like the males do. A lot of times just the males are the ones that mainly do, but in this case he said, nope, don't worry about it. I probably have a nice mix of males and females. The females do like to go into caves too, so he said just let them keep growing. They'll spawn at some point. The odds that I don't have males and females with 6 is probably pretty slim. So this is my festivum cichlids, or festivum, but I call them festivum cichlids, I believe it's how it's pronounced. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, these are just young ones. They're just growing out, and we'll hope that I eventually get some a mating pair. And they're in, you can't really see them real good. There's a bristlenose in the way, but down behind them you can see the polka dots of a L201. There's some 201 plecos in here growing out. There's one back there. These things are really they really hide real well. And as you can tell by my tanks, I like to really let things grow wild. Again, I'm not really selling them, or that's not my primarily goal. So keeping a lot of plants in there is just because that's the way I like things to look. There you go. Nothing in here but a bunch of guppies at the time. Again, a bunch of plants growing out. It's just wild in there. And last but not least, my this tank has got an albino bristlenose male and female, long fins, and of course they're not going to come out for me, but they are ready to spawn just right at the perfect age. And then I have also a lot of these, which are false Julii corycats. And they just ate, so they're all sitting around just happy. Bunches of those in there. And then you usually see, I keep some different kinds of guppies in my tanks just to keep, eating up all the extra food that might appear. You'll always find stuff laying around my tanks, rocks that I take in and out of tanks at different times. There's gravel, slate down there on the ground. You got to keep the mandatory flashlight because you never know when that's going to be needed. Plenty of trash cans so you can keep your place neat. Yeah, some spare filters sitting around. The light corner. These are all old lights that have been replaced with the more modern stuff. I did have electric run into this house, and then had extra electric for all these fish tanks. So there's electric all around the base. So there's no shortage of tanks. And many of you know I do have a whole, a circular whole room air setup. This is the compressor from a company called Gemco. And this is a small one. It'll do about 25 to 30 drops. But air runs all of my stuff, runs up into a 1-inch pipe, and you can see little air valves. Drill a small hole in there. Self-tapping air valves go down and run air to all my sponge filters. I do about 30 to 40% water changes one time a week, and my water parameters are just perfect, right on the nose, with solely using sponge filters. But that system's been really great, and I could recommend that Gemco air filter. You can see here, this white pipe runs down the full length of the room. It goes down, makes a complete loop, and comes all the way back here. And the reason that is by having the air pump into a loop, it keeps the pressure up. That way you don't have real high pressure at one end, a whole bunch of air coming out of it, and then lower pressure at the opposite end. So by keeping it that way, it keeps a nice even amount of air all the way through your system. And as you can see here, these are just all the air drops. And works real good. And another thing I have in my fish room is water at the ready, drainage at the ready. And this, I had a sump and water run down. So I have hot and cold water. This is a self-made device I have that I can take and hang on the side of any of my tanks to fill up with water. Little on and off switch right here. And then I also have a drain. Now this drain can hang down into the tank, and right now it's actually got water in it. And if I turn this valve with this in a tank, I don't even have to do a siphon. It will start siphoning already because there's water down in there. And then that just runs right down into my sump. It works great. And again, this is another reason why, if I had more tanks, I would have a system, to fill keep the water levels up. But I can literally go along, and I have all these set up, and you can see, for example, right here is a 1, so I know this is going to drain to that level in 1 minute. Right here is a 5. I know that my tank's going to drain down to that level in 5 minutes using that one drain. So if I put this drain in, start it up, and I put this line in, filling with water, I can just go tank to tank to tank. 2 minutes there, 1 minute there, 2 minutes there. This tank takes 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. So I can go around and do this whole room, all the water changes in about a half an hour at the most. So works out great. And keep a laser thermometer so that I can always test the water temperature to keep it nice and steady as it's going into the different tanks, and works out good. Foods I have kind of all over the place. There's some cichlid pellets there, bug bites, which I love, and shrimp pellets, which the Cory cats love. Always plenty of algae tabs for plecos. There's one of the grow-outs there. And that works out good. Then, of course, I just keep my shelf of stuff, and I just flip the light on. So keep my air pump there, and then just everything I need. Usually keep some spare heaters, just variety of tools, kind of a catch-all bin, plastic bags for any trash I may use. And then of course you've got spare food, some cichlid pellets, some bug bites, a backup bag of just basically everything's here. And that's how I do it. Then I also have my frozen fish food, which I share with my the rest of the house, and I get the top shelf, and this has all of my frozen foods. So you can see I got numerous pounds, about 5 or 6 pounds of brine shrimp, about we got 4 or 5 things of bloodworms, and those are primary sources of food for me. So that's it. Everything works out real well. Again, I could greatly increase. I can greatly increase the number of tanks I have in short order by tapping into the airlines and setting up fish tanks, right away. But basically, what I try to do is keep a couple of tanks that are light on fish, so that if I get a lot of babies, be it plecos or whatever, I have a lot of room to grow them out. So anyways, that is really a look at my tanks in a nutshell. Again, I go by the name The Budget Aquarist because I try to do stuff, on a budget. I don't spend a fortune on my equipment, but you know what? I've found stuff that's reliable and works, and I guess that's all that matters, right? So thanks for letting me give you a look around. Oh, by the way, this is all in a basement, room, so I keep a indoor-outdoor carpet down just for my comfort. But other than that, it's concrete floors and no ceiling other than a light that I put in, so I can see. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, do me a favor, check out Michael's Fish Room. If you get a chance to check him out, do me a favor, tell him Bruce the Budget Aquarist sent you. So there you go, guys. Thanks again for stopping by. I'm going to end this way and tell you that that's what this hobby is all about. This is my happy place. So wherever you keep your tanks, whether you have 1 or 100, just make sure you enjoy it. Thanks, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon.